Clara's name became a chilling echo across the internet when the young mother posted what seemed like an ordinary TikTok video only for viewers to notice a shadowy figure moving behind her, setting off a terrifying chain of events that ended in her mysterious disappearance. Claire had always been an ordinary mother living in an ordinary neighborhood. The kind of person no one expected to make headlines. She was known for her cheerful personality, the way she doted on her young child, and her occasional posts on TikTok where she shared relatable snippets of motherhood. At first, her content was lighthearted, playful clips of messy kitchens, sleepless nights, and the unpredictable chaos of raising a toddler. Her videos rarely drew much attention outside her circle of friends, but things began to change when she uploaded something very different. One late evening, after putting her child to bed, Claire recorded herself in her living room. The video was brief and seemed almost pointless at first glance, just her standing silently with tired eyes, the dim lamp casting shadows around her. But as the clip played on, an unsettling detail caught viewers' attention. In the background, just over her shoulder, a shadow seemed to move past the hallway doorway. It was quick, almost imperceptible, yet enough to make thousands of people stop, replay, and question what they had seen. Within hours, the post began gaining traction. Some viewers commented that it was probably a trick of the light or poor video quality. Others swore they had seen a figure, tall and distinct, slipping silently out of view. The video became the subject of countless duets, stitches, and theories. Strangers debated whether Claire had staged the moment, if it was a ghost, or if there was someone else in her home. Claire herself did not address the growing speculation. Instead, she carried on posting short clips, but they carried a noticeably darker tone. She looked more withdrawn, her expressions tense, as though she were weighed down by something she wasn't saying. The more people watched, the more questions arose. Why had she chosen to upload that eerie video in the first place? Was it accidental, or was she trying to hint at something without saying it outright? Neighbors later admitted they hadn't noticed anything unusual around her home, yet the online community became fixated, combing through every frame of her posts for hidden clues. What had started as a simple TikTok had now drawn thousands into a story no one fully understood, a story that was only just beginning to take shape. Days after the unsettling video gained traction, the atmosphere around Claire's house began to shift in strange ways. Neighbors who had once described her home as quiet and unremarkable started noticing unusual activity. A black car was seen idling near her driveway at odd hours, its driver never stepping out, simply waiting before eventually pulling away. Lights flickered on and off inside the house long after midnight, sometimes in rooms no one thought she used. A few neighbors whispered about muffled noises coming from inside, though no one could ever clearly identify whether it was arguing, furniture being moved, or something else entirely. The once friendly aura of Claire's home now carried an air of mystery that unsettled those living nearby. Meanwhile, Claire's online presence grew increasingly disturbing. Her new posts were nothing like the cheerful motherhood clips she had once been known for. Her face appeared drawn, her eyes hollow, as though she had not slept in days. In one video, she filmed herself sitting at her kitchen table, staring into the camera without speaking, while the faint sound of tapping could be heard in the background. Another post showed a drawing her child had made, crudely sketched with crayons. It depicted a tall, faceless figure standing next to what looked like their home. Beneath the picture, Claire had written a chilling caption, "He's here again." The internet reacted with a mix of fascination and fear. Some viewers believed she was creating an elaborate series meant to scare people, accusing her of fabricating events for clout. Others insisted her fear was real, pointing to her trembling hands and the emptiness in her eyes as proof she was not acting. Hashtags began trending, and thousands of comments debated whether someone should step in to check on her. Concerned followers reached out to local authorities, but when police visited her home, they found no immediate signs of danger. Without evidence of a crime, there was little they could do. Despite this, Claire's behavior continued to deteriorate. She appeared thinner, her videos more erratic. Sometimes she would pan the camera across empty rooms, as if to prove she wasn't alone. Other times, she would abruptly cut her clips short, leaving viewers unsettled and curious about what she was hiding. The line between performance and reality blurred further with each post. And while officials dismissed the matter, her online audience grew convinced they were witnessing something far more dangerous unfold before their eyes. The night everything escalated began like any other, but what Claire uploaded at 3 a.m. would change the way people viewed her story forever. The video started with her walking slowly through the darkened rooms of her house, the camera shaking slightly as if she were holding it with trembling hands. The sound of her footsteps was soft, yet over it came another noise-heavy, deliberate thuds echoing somewhere nearby. She never spoke, never explained, but her anxious breathing filled the silence. As she panned the phone toward the hallway, the frame caught something disturbing. A closet door shifted open just enough to reveal a sliver of darkness, and then it moved again, as though someone or something had pushed it from inside. Before viewers could see more, the recording abruptly cut off. What came next only deepened the mystery. A second post appeared on her account just hours later, but this one seemed different. The footage was grainy and incomplete, beginning with a frozen still of her child's toy lying broken on the floor. The sound was distorted, filled with static, and beneath it faint whispers could be heard, though the words were impossible to make out. Many assumed Claire had uploaded it accidentally, as though something interrupted her before she finished. Others suspected someone else had posted it entirely. Investigators who would later analyze the footage discovered unsettling details. The metadata revealed that the late-night upload hadn't come from Claire's phone at all, but from another device entirely. This raised alarming questions: who else had access to her account, and how did they gain entry into her home? Online theorists went into overdrive, dissecting every frame, enhancing audio, and comparing shadows. Some believed the figure glimpsed in the hallway was real, pointing to the unusual angle of the moving closet door. Others claimed the broken toy suggested her child might be in danger. By now, Claire's followers were deeply divided. Half believed she was orchestrating a clever horror project meant to terrify and entertain, while the other half was convinced they were witnessing genuine evidence of stalking or supernatural activity. Claire herself offered no clarification. Instead, her next few posts were short and fragmented, often ending abruptly, showing fragments of her face or quick shots of darkened rooms. Each video left more questions than answers. The sense that something terrible was approaching grew heavier with every passing day, leaving viewers uneasy yet unable to look away. Claire's sudden silence was the first sign that something had gone terribly wrong. For days, her TikTok account, once buzzing with activity, went completely dark. Her sister, who lived a few towns away, grew alarmed when repeated calls and messages went unanswered. She eventually drove to Claire's house, only to find the curtains drawn and the front door locked. After contacting the police, officers entered the home and were struck by the unsettling scene inside. There were no signs of forced entry, no evidence of a struggle, and yet the atmosphere felt heavy, as though the walls themselves were keeping secrets. The toddler was found asleep in the crib, unharmed, but unusually quiet, as if even the child sensed the tension lingering in the air. What drew the investigators' attention most, however, were the walls. Taped to nearly every surface were notes, sketches, and pieces of paper filled with disturbing drawings. Many depicted the same faceless figure, tall and looming, always near a crude outline of a house. Others contained fragmented phrases scrawled in hurried handwriting: "Watching me, don't look away," and "never alone." It was clear that whatever Claire had been experiencing had consumed her completely in the days before she vanished. Her laptop, left open on the dining room table, offered even more disturbing clues. Investigators found dozens of video files that had never been uploaded. Some showed Claire pacing the room, whispering under her breath, too faint to be understood. Others showed her staring at the camera in silence for long stretches, her expression distant and unsettled. A few clips featured strange sounds in the background: knocks, dragging noises, and what almost resembled a voice calling her name. Most haunting of all was a file that had been partially deleted but recovered during the forensic search. Its name was Final. Though corrupted, a few seconds of footage could still be viewed. It showed Claire standing in front of her camera, her face pale, her lips trembling as though she wanted to speak but couldn't. The recording abruptly ended before she could say anything more. Despite the thorough search, no trace of Claire herself was found. Her belongings remained untouched, her car parked in the driveway, and her phone missing. To the outside world, it seemed as if she had simply vanished without a sound, leaving only her cryptic videos and haunting notes behind. For investigators and viewers alike, the mystery was only deepening. For weeks after Claire's disappearance, the case dominated online discussions and local news reports. Authorities continued to dig through every detail of her life, hoping to find a lead that could explain her vanishing. Their search eventually led them to a discovery that raised more questions than it answered. The strange metadata linked to her late-night TikTok posts had come from a device belonging to a man who lived just a few houses away. He was a quiet neighbor in his 40s, known for keeping to himself, but his past revealed a troubling history. Years earlier, he had faced accusations of stalking women, though none had led to convictions. When questioned, he admitted to knowing Claire but denied any involvement in her disappearance. His claim was that she had willingly shared her account details with him because she was running an experiment to scare her audience. Investigators found his explanation weak, but with no evidence tying him directly to a crime, they were forced to let him go. The lack of progress only fueled speculation online. Millions of viewers revisited Claire's videos, analyzing each frame for hidden messages or overlooked details. Some claimed her notes on the walls showed dates that might predict when she expected to be taken. Others argued the faceless figure was a metaphor for her neighbor, an attempt to warn people without naming him directly. A smaller group began pushing the theory that something supernatural had been involved, pointing to the distorted audio, the moving doors, and the eerie silence surrounding her final moments. The lines between fact, theory, and fear blurred, creating a story that seemed larger than life. Despite the theories, the evidence remained frustratingly thin. No body was ever recovered, no physical proof tied anyone to a crime, and the only traces left of Claire were her unsettling online posts. The toddler was placed in the care of her sister, who refused to discuss the case publicly, adding yet another layer of mystery. Claire's TikTok account, however, remained active, with her videos continuing to circulate long after her disappearance. Some viewers swore they noticed new details appearing in the clips over time, as if the videos themselves were changing, though this was dismissed as nothing more than digital distortion and overactive imagination. To this day, the fate of Claire remains unresolved. Whether she was the victim of a crime, the target of her own unraveling mind, or something far stranger, her story endures online. Each video serves as a chilling reminder of how a simple social media post can transform into a haunting digital record of a life that slipped into darkness without explanation.